Okay, this lesson is a review of capitalization and the rules around it. So capitalizing a letter means that you're doing an uppercase letter. And so when you're typing, that means you have to hit the shift key before you hit the letter to make sure that it is a capital. The first rule is when you capitalize the first word of every sentence, right? So that's pretty basic. Dogs are known as man's best friend. The D in dogs is capitalized because it's the first word in the sentence. And then rule number 2 is that if you are doing a direct quotation, so you are writing dialogue, okay, a direct quotation of somebody's words, okay, you're going to capitalize the first word that's the complete sentence that the person's saying. So an example of that, Tyrone said, "This dog plays with the ball." So the T in this, as well as the T in Tyrone, are capitalized. Tyrone's the first word of the sentence, and then this is the first word of what he's saying. This is like a sentence within a sentence, and so that letter also gets capitalized. Our next rule is when the speaker's words are interrupted by explanatory words. So explanatory words are the tags, the attributions, things like Tyrone said. So here it's at the beginning of our sentence. If it was in the middle of the words, you do not capitalize the second part. So, because it's the continuation of the same sentence. So an example, "I walk my neighbor's dog every day," said Lee, "because they work late." So this is clearly a continuation of the first part of the dialogue. It uses the word because. So we do not capitalize that B, although we did capitalize the first word in the beginning of the sentence. And then when the second part of the quotation is a new sentence, you're going to put a period after the interrupting expression. So if this was a new sentence, we didn't have because here, we'd put a period after interrupting expression here, said Lee, and we would begin the second part with the capital letter. So an example of that, "Many people own dogs," said Maria, "Dogs make great pets." So clearly dogs and dogs are not the same sentence. We wouldn't repeat ourselves that way if it was a continuing sentence, and so you capitalize that second D. People, okay, so that we're going to capitalize names. We're going to capitalize the names of the people and any initials that stand for their name. So Meriwether Lewis, first name, last name. Susan B. Anthony, her middle initial, and J. F. Cooper. So the J and the F stand for his first name and his middle name, and so then the C for the Cooper. Rule 6, we're going to capitalize the title or an abbreviation of a title when it comes before a person's name or when it's used in direct address as a substitute for the name. So that first one, General Grant, Senator John Glenn, Mrs. Aide. So in all of these, the name itself is capitalized and the title is capitalized. That's right in front of them, right? The first letter. When we say direct address, this is what we mean. Then Lieutenant Clark, so this is the title and the name, said, and now we have some dialogue, "Yes, Captain, I'll go with you." So here, Lieutenant Clark is addressing another person by the title of Captain. There's no name with it, but because it's a direct address, you're speaking to that person, addressing them as Captain in dialogue, we capitalize the C as if it were their name. If the title, this Captain, for example, describes a person and is not used as a direct address, you're not calling them that, then you do not capitalize it. So Clark himself was later promoted to captain. So here, captain is describing Clark. It's not being used as his title or in addressing him, and so it's lowercase right here, okay? And then the same, Thomas Jefferson, then president, planned the expedition. So it's not being used as his title. It's not President Thomas Jefferson or President Jefferson, right, or Mr. President. It's being used to describe his rank. And so we lowercase that president. We don't uppercase it. Thomas Jefferson. Rule number 8, we capitalize names and abbreviations of any academic degrees that follow a person's name, such as junior and senior as well. So MD stands for doctor, so obviously the initial and the name are capitalized plus the degree. Here, PhD is also doctor. It's just not a medical doctor. And so, again, the first name, last name are capitalized. The P in the PH and the D stands for doctorate. And then Robert Ayers Jr., the J is capitalized along with the name. So family, a lot of times we get confused in when we're supposed to capitalize the titles of family members and not. So we're going to capitalize words that show relationships when they're used as a title or as a substitute for the name. So in 2015, father retraced the steps of Lewis and Clark. Here, father is actually replacing the name of the person. We don't know what father's name is. He's being addressed as father, so then we would capitalize it. He was accompanied by Uncle Bill. So again, Uncle Bill, uncle is being used like a title, and then Bill is the name. So both get capitalized here. They're being used as the name directly. But we do not capitalize those words when they follow a possessive noun or pronoun or an article. So Sharon's aunt. Sharon here is our noun. It's possessive. And then we have the aunt that follows it. It's not being used as a direct address. So we're not saying Aunt Millie, for example, or Aunt Betty, right? We're just saying Sharon's aunt. So therefore, you do not capitalize it in this scenario. Wrote an article about a trip with her mother. So again, we have a possessive pronoun here. Mother is the relationship. The woman's being described as somebody's mother. We're not addressing her directly as mother, so we do not capitalize it in that situation. We always capitalize the pronoun I. So social studies is the subject. I, like most, I is always capitalized. It is the only pronoun that is always capitalized. If we have the places and things of people, so we're going to capitalize the names of cities, counties, states, countries, and continents, like Houston, Iowa, and Japan. We're going to capitalize the names of bodies of water and geographical features, such as the Baltic Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and Sahara Desert. Notice the of is not capitalized here. That's a preposition, so we're only capitalizing the important words, Gulf and Mexico, not the preposition. Sections or regions of the country. So New England, Midwest, the Far West, those would all be capitalized. But we don't capitalize them when they're referring to a direction, like a compass point in relation to something else. So Los Angeles is south of San Francisco. So if we're referring to the south as a region of the country, we would capitalize it. But when we're referring it as a direction, two points in relation to each other, we do not capitalize it. We're going to capitalize streets and highways like Monroe Street and Route 66. And you always capitalize what it is, like the highway or the route or the road or the circle, when you're referring to it as the name. If you're referring to it just in common, he went down the street, we don't, but when it's part of the name Monroe Street, then we do capitalize the word street. And then we capitalize the names of buildings, bridges, and monuments. So like Chrysler Building, Brooklyn Bridge, and Statue of Liberty. Again, notice the is not capitalized and of is not capitalized, right? Just the actual name of the statue. There she is. So places and things, if it's the name of a place or thing, we capitalize it. So celestial bodies, right? Pluto, names of planets, stars, galaxies, North Star, the Milky Way. Okay? There we go. And then clubs, organizations, businesses, institutions, and political parties. So again, these are the names of them. Data Corporation, Boy Scouts, Harvard University. If it's just in general, the university or the college, or the club, then we do not capitalize it. But when it's a specific name of a club or specific name of a college or university, then we do. Important historical events, periods of time, and documents. So the names of those are also capitalized. Battle of York, that's a specific battle. Bronze Age is a specific time frame in our history. And Bill of Rights is a document with a name. So the important words in the name are capitalized, the B and the R. Days of the week, months of the year, and holidays are capitalized, but seasons are not. So Thursday, April, Memorial Day, holiday, right? Those are all capitalized, but summer is not capitalized, okay? It's a season. And then if it's the title of a book or a newspaper or a movie or a poem, we capitalize the titles. So A is the first word of it, so we're going to capitalize the first word, plus important words, anything that's not a preposition or an article. So a wrinkle in time, in is a preposition, we don't capitalize it, but we do wrinkle in time. The Raven, here's the, is capitalized because it's the first word, and then Washington Post is a newspaper. And we capitalize the name of ethnic groups, nationalities, languages, so Asian, German, Spanish. It does not matter if it's being used as a noun or an adjective. In either case, you would capitalize the nationality or language.